Okay, let's get started. So again, my name's Michelle Andrashak. I'm the CEO of WOW International Women in Business and Leadership, Inc. I am a certified management consultant, which allows me to be a business consultant in 45 countries around the world, and I'm a certified business coach. You can find me at wowbiztribe.com or www.wowwomeninbusiness.com. So let's really look at how to stop marketing and selling. And believe me, for a business consultant to tell you that, just stop marketing and selling, seems totally counterintuitive. However, I'm going to show you, based on consumer behavior, that now is the time of all times, as we move into this new year 2021, of now is the time, based on consumer behavior, to focus on building a credibility campaign, not a marketing and not a sales campaign. So let's get started. And we're moving right along. There we go, over here. So does anyone remember the Sham Wow guy and the OxyClean guy and all of those infomercials? We see Tony Little on his gazelle thing. Does anyone remember those? They demonstrated, they coerced, they told us their products and services would be better than we could imagine. And guess what? What'd we do? We bought it. So literally speaking, back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, right up until the early 90s, I'm going to date myself, the consumer had no control about the amount of advertising that was put in front of us. Almost zero control, because you watched your favorite TV show, you listened to your favorite radio program, and what happened in between? Commercials, advertising, sales opportunities. And we have had this for decades and decades and decades, advertising literally forced down our throats, because you know what? In that day and age, it actually worked, because the consumer had almost zero control over what was fed to them. So we bought into products that they said were best for our bodies, best for our families, but we didn't actually have anyone other than our neighbors to review the products and services with. And it happened again and again and again. Why? Because we purchased again and again and again, based on good old-fashioned marketing techniques, old-fashioned being the word, and good old-fashioned sales techniques. So sadly, and this is the really sad part about the programming, is that businesses, big and small, still use the same techniques that were used in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and even 90s and early 2000s. And now they're wondering why their advertising isn't working. And they're scratching their heads and saying, how come it's not working anymore? It used to work. I don't know why it's not working, but I can tell you why it's not working. Why it's not working is because now, I'm going to date myself, since the age of the VCR. Everyone remember the VCR? Since the age of the VCR, the consumer has now found the power to control the amount of advertising we consume. So we learned how to fast forward through advertisements on the VCR, or for some of you, the PVR. And in less than a second, we can swipe on our phone, and anything that looks like an advertisement, we actually repel. It's not the law of attraction here, ladies, where we're wanting to attract our most valuable client. I call them MVCs, where we want to attract people to us. If we use the same techniques that we've always done, it actually will repel people from your business. And that's the last thing we want to do. So here's why. Even what worked on social media a few years ago certainly doesn't work today. And it certainly doesn't work in an age where social media, in this last year, the use of social media has gone up by 40%. So when it comes to why it's not working, 83% of people agree with the statement, not all ads are bad, but I want to filter out the really obnoxious ones. Anyone thought about that before? 77% agree that the statement, I wish there was a way to add filter. I just don't want to see the ones that are unapplicable to me. 91% of people say ads are more intrusive than they were 2 or 3 years ago. 87 say that there are more ads in general 2 to 3 years ago. We're certainly becoming more aware of them as the social media platforms allow more advertising content. And 79% feel like they're being tracked by retargeted ads. And I know this has happened to me before. You know, living in beautiful Rocky Mountain House, Alberta, close to the Rocky Mountains, I go snowshoeing often and post snowshoeing adventures on my Facebook page. Guess what happens the following Monday? I get great ads on my newsfeed for snowshoes, for poles, for hiking equipment. Why? Because I've been retargeted. And how does it feel? It feels icky. And that's the last thing I want to feel, is that anything that I put on social media to share with my friends and family is going to be used and retargeted to sell me something that I don't really need. So realistically, when you're thinking about your advertising, making sure that this is not happening in your business. So in other words, if something looks and feels like an advertisement, people are going to run in the other direction. They're going to steer clear. They're going to keep their distance. They're going to ignore. Why? Because now we have the control and consumer behavior to do so. And more, since 9/11 and all the economic, political, terrorist things that have happened in the world, today, as we move into 2021, today, consumer behavior in the area of trust is at its very lowest. I'm going to say that again. Generating trust with your consumer is going to take you into a whole different realm of showcasing your service, showcasing your quality, and engaging in the sales process, because consumer trust is at an all-time record low when it comes, especially when it comes to doing business. So there's one myth I want to debunk for you right now. Let's just get it out of the way. Marketing generates awareness. Absolutely. Yes. Do you need a Facebook page? Yes. Do you need a website? Yes. Do you need a LinkedIn if you're doing B2B? Yes. Do you need to look at email marketing? Absolutely. But if you're going to think that marketing is going to generate a sale for you, you're absolutely wrong. Marketing does not generate sales. People will not buy from you because they see your advertising or your marketing efforts. What it does, it generates awareness that you exist. It generates awareness that people can reach out to you. Connection generates sales and cash flow. So it's all about developing that connection through your communications. It's not here, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. It's developing that relationship. And it will take between 7 to 28 connection touches or engagements before someone will buy from you. So quite often we put our marketing out there, expect it to generate a sale, and then all of a sudden say, oh, my advertising's not working. It's just not working. I'm going to stop now. But chances are you've stopped too early. Chances are you haven't made those connections yet. Chances are you need to build that know, like, and trust model. And considering consumer trust is so low right now and the capacity to trust, that building block steps, the yellow brick road to that cash flow is longer now than it ever was before. So how do you get there? How do you build this campaign based on credibility that equals cash flow and increases your profits? Well, I am the firm believer in the know, like, and trust model. So people have to know, like, and trust you even more so today before you get a conversion to a sale. So one thing I want you to think about when you wake up in the morning is get up and ask yourself, how will I allow people to know me today? Because that's the first step. Who are you? Do you know who you are? Do you have a personal brand statement? If someone says, hey, what do you do at a networking event? Do you know concisely how to answer what I call their WIFM question? What's in it for me? To get to know you. So developing those skills, super important. So who are you? What do you do? And why should I care? As a consumer, why should I care about what you have to offer? All of those things need to be wrapped up in what I call a personal brand statement. Then once you have that, your consumers, based on your messaging, can say, do I like you? Do I like what you have to say? Am I connecting with you on values? Am I connecting with you on a way to improve my life? The understanding that you'll provide the solution to my pain points, or you'll help me reach my desired goals. And then lastly, trust. Trust is based on what other people say about you and proven social proof that you can help. So have you helped other people be successful? And trust certainly is about developing an army of advocates for your product or for your service so that they will share about you. And I'll tell you why that's so important as we move along the presentation. Finally, but last but not least, is the conversion. Once you have that know, like, and trust blocks in the yellow brick road to cash flow, conversion happens. But you also have to lead them through a conversion or an onboarding process. What's the next step for you? Developing the customer journey. So do you have a test drive model where they can come and experience you for a little while before they sign up and risk their hard-earned money in one of your services? So thinking about that like, know, and trust, I want you to keep that top of mind again and again and again. So essentially, your consumers of your products want to see your credibility. So what does credibility mean? Really, it means the quality of being believable or worthy of trust. So how do we have consumers trust us as service providers, as product providers, in a world where the capacity to trust is so incredibly low right now? Well, let me show you some of the 4 key factors in order to make that happen. So we'll go through these step by step as we move throughout the presentation, but just an overview is the first key factor is demonstrating that you get your customers. I call it the, hey girl, I get what's keeping you awake at night type of program. You understand their pain points and you understand their desires, and you're proving that you are the solution. And the tools that you use is the solution. So you need to prove to your customer that you know them. And more than just here, buy my stuff, you might need it or you might like it. It's a deeper understanding on an emotional level, because we're all emotional beings. We purchase on an emotional level, and then we justify the purchase with logic later. The second key factor is building your reputation on expertise and education, allowing people to know you. I call it teaching versus preaching. The third element is showcasing and connecting with clients through your values and community relations. So you really have to understand, as you're mapping out this credibility, what are your values? Getting to know yourself within your business is so much more important in the building of a credibility campaign than a marketing campaign. In a marketing campaign, we market tools. In a credibility campaign, the consumer has to trust us as a person. So we're getting really clear on what values you'll communicate through your credibility campaign process is going to be very different than a marketing campaign. And again, building trust through testimonials and reviews and allowing people to trust you. They need to trust you, the service provider, before they trust your business. So let's find out, proving that you know your customer. Do you know your customer? How often do you sit down and map out the pain points and desires of your target audience? My answer to that is you should be doing it at least every 6 months because their needs change. What happened last year at this time is very, very different to what your most valuable client is experiencing today. So their needs, their pain points have radically changed. So we need to know and let them know that we understand them. Again, when it comes to conveying your communications, a great message is not when your ideal client understands you. It's when your ideal client feels understood by you. So realistically, it's not about you. It really is you proving that you know who your MVC is, what keeps them awake at night, and what are their desired goals that they want to achieve. So again, we need to identify that their grievances and concerns. I call it the great MVC brain dump. A list of their pain points, a list of their desires, and mapping out credibility messages based on each one of those points. Empathizing that you understand what's going on in their lives based on those pain points and desires, and then providing the product with a solution. Now, thinking about those 3 steps, these can be certainly done on your own. I would bullet point them. I would brain dump them as much as you can. So discovering what your customer pain points are, number 1, and what are their desired goals. So here's some examples of pain points. If you're a life or a health coach, you might say that my ideal client doesn't like the way they feel in their body. They cannot sustain, they cannot find their purpose in the world. They desire a sustainable, abundant, love-filled life. So identify their pains and their desires when you're mapping out your most valuable client. A home organization company might say, my ideal client's home is a wreck, which makes them feel like their life is a wreck. They need someone to help tidy it up so they can stop feeling embarrassed. When you're looking at the pain points and the desires, you want to connect from an emotional perspective. It's not, they just need someone tidying up their closet. No. If they had a tidy closet, how would they feel? And how do they feel about having a closet that's just a wreck? So go deeper, ladies, go deeper, more than just the tools, more than just the outcomes, but the emotional impact you're having on their lives. And guaranteed, that's exactly what you're doing. You're having an emotional impact, no matter what product or service that you're offering. Even bookkeeping can have an emotional impact when it comes to alleviating stress for your clients. So learning how to speak to your customers' pain points needs to be done with empathy. So again, an expression of empathy is understanding the pain and frustration that they're going through, but also speaking with authority. So again, positioning yourself as an expert and letting other people lead in front of you. And we'll get into testimonials and how you do that just a little later in the presentation. But empathy and authority goes hand in hand. I understand what you're going through. The roller coaster of entrepreneurship has been a crazy ride in this year. However, I have tools and solutions to help you overcome the ups and downs, the emotional highs and lows, and strategically put more money in your pocket. So again, empathy and authority go hand in hand because people need you to be the expert. They won't believe you if you say you're not. So they'll go to somebody else who's saying that they're the expert. People want to deal with experts. So that your authority and stepping into your own power and in the brilliance that how you serve the world is so important. So allowing people to get to know you. So first element was proving that you know your most valuable client. The second one is allowing people to get to know you. So what do you do that? How do you do that? Well, wake up in the morning and say, how am I allowing my most valuable client to get to know me? So you can see here, this is my life in pictures. So, my Wonder Woman shoes that are sitting beside my desk right now, me presenting on stage, me working with clients. I love being by water. And I have this interesting program called Shut the Duck Up. So when it comes to how are you allowing your MVC to get to know you in a world where most people don't like to read anymore. We are now in a different age where people don't need these long bios and these reading long LinkedIn profiles and things like that. They want to see what your life looks like and who you are, both personally and professionally, in pictures. They want to get to know you in pictures. Stop hiding behind your logos and put your best face forward and develop a personal brand. So you have a personal brand, whether you know it or not. A personal brand is what people say to other people about you when you've left the room. You can either develop a personal brand and control it and showcase it and make sure that you're putting what you want into it, or you can let the world control it. I personally, I'm a bit of a control freak. I like to develop that personal brand, and I'd love to help you do that too. So with that said, how are people going to get to know you? Educate, engage, and empower. So you need to believe that you are the expert and it's time to show what you know. And I'm talking about teaching, not preaching. Preaching is buy my stuff, it's great, you'll love it. However, if you're selling yoga, for example, is a great example of teaching versus preaching. How are you integrating yoga into your life? What emotional benefits does it bring? How does it impact your relationship with your kids? How does it impact your relationship with the world? So teach me elements of how you practice what you preach. And then you can map out what I call a path to purchase that produces cash flow. But again, I don't know how, actually, it's funny. One of my clients had this great saying. She said, they won't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So again, showing how much you care about your clients by teaching them something, offering them value. Just like today, I'm here to teach you something. I'm here to offer you value, and in developing that roadmap for your credibility campaign. So let's talk about what does that really look like. So let me tell you Tori's story, creating your own stage. So we all have a stage, believe it or not. If you're on social media, if you have a website as a business owner, you have created your stage. As big as a stadium in the biggest stadiums of all the world could be the stage of your website, could be the stage of your YouTube channel, could be the stage of your Facebook channel as well. So thinking about, let's look at an example of teaching versus preaching. Meet my friend Tori. So Tori is an interior designer, and absolutely it has taken a big hit in her industry because she was an interior designer for hotels. Now she's pivoted during this year and created video tips on how to stage your home residentially. So she's sharing her expertise on video by taking one room in her house each day and showing how you would stage it or how you put different colors together. And she's developing clientele based on her expertise. People are getting to know her through her videos. People are getting to like her because of her style and trust her enough to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to go to your website and look at your e-design DIY packages that I can buy because I see how you put them together. So thinking about developing and creating your own stage, you have it at your fingertips. Once upon a time, and I'm going to date myself, when I went to university and studied business and marketing and accounting and finance, I did a double major. So the three elements of marketing that we had access to was radio, TV, and print. But now, and always TV was the best because you could convey emotion, sound, light, sometimes even ask them to imagine what something tastes like. But now you have your TV commercial literally right here on your phone. And so you have the opportunity to create your own stage, and you build credibility by teaching. So another way to build credibility is get on somebody else's stage. So today I'm here on Deanne's stage for your holistic earth. So by Deanne bringing me in to speak to you, and then I hopefully will, if you trust Deanne, you'll trust me, because trust can often be transferable. But another way to get on somebody else's stage and showcase your expertise is being interviewed on a subject matter that puts you in the expert seat. So it could be a podcast, it could be somebody else's video broadcast, it could be the fact that you will pay an ambassador or an influencer to interview you. And you can see I've done that over the course of my career. I've been on several different stages. I speak publicly, I teach publicly, I've been a guest on podcasts, and I've had ambassadors interview me. So remember too, teaching in those moments, offering value, offering tools is so important to allowing people to get to know you. Now, remember, getting to know you is just the first step in the know, like, and trust model that builds credibility and converts to cash flow in your business. Let's look at the like opportunity. So allowing people to like you. First of all, I have to say, not everybody is everybody else's cup of tea. Statistically shown that no matter what you do, 10% of your audience will just not like you. Sorry, you're not for everybody. But once we get over that, we have to think about how do we connect so people will like us? Well, showcasing and connecting with clients through your values and community relations will help in the assistance of, hey, I really like Wendy. She shows up and she showcases her values and her community relations. I love that. I see her giving back to her community all the time. So again, I'm sure some of you have heard of the brilliant author Simon Sinek, who wrote a great book, if you haven't read it, called Starts With Why. He says the goal is not to sell to people who need what you have. Because you know what? They can need what you have, but what you have is no different from the person beside you. And they might need it from somebody else one day. But the goal is to sell to people who believe in what you believe. Once you connect on values, you will connect for life. And you will have an army of advocates sharing your wisdom, and you will have those people that will do the ultimate marketing for you. Word of mouth. I'll talk about that a little later. So here are some examples of what values look like. Anyone know about this campaign, Dove, the Real Beauty campaign? Is Dove selling soap and body products? Or is Dove selling women empowerment? That every woman is beautiful, that no matter what you look like, no matter how tall, how short, how round, how square, how rectangle, no matter the color of your skin or your hair, you are beautiful. So I know I fell into this campaign. Honestly, I bought some Dove body wash thinking that if I stepped out of the shower, I would feel good about myself. And so they're not selling soap. They're saying, honestly, we're selling a feeling, an emotion, a movement of values. And if you believe in those same values too, you'll be able to connect with the product. Again, Ben & Jerry's does the same thing. Good old-fashioned ice cream. they actually showcase their hyper transparent way they create their ice creams, right down to what they feed the cattle that produces the milk for them. So it is about supporting that supply chain, making sure that every little piece has been activated in a positive way, both economically and well looked after, to align with their social mission. So even an ice cream business can do it. Now, here's one of my favorite value social stories. Some of you may have heard of this, called Tree. So Tree is a clothing line specializing generally in t-shirts and hoodies. Well, t-shirts and hoodies are everywhere. Totally saturated market. But what made Tree so successful? Here's their story. So Callan Emsley and David Luber were surfing and hiking in Hawaii. Oh, I wish, in 2011, when they noticed a trend. Many of their fellow travelers were embracing socially responsible clothing companies such as Tom's, and they said, you know what? They had a eureka moment. And these two guys are from Saskatchewan, and they were surfing. Where they learned to surf, I'm not really sure. But nonetheless, they came up with an apparel brand that was environmentally conscious, connected to the values of their most valuable customer. They understood their customer wanted something, not just a regular hoodie or a t-shirt, but something that would give back to the world environmentally. So they came up with 10 Tree. For every hoodie purchased, their company would plant 10 trees. So let's think about this. This dynamic duo from Regina, Saskatchewan, started this program and this company in 2012. So true to their brand, true to their values, true to building the credibility with their most valuable audience, I want you to reverse engineer this math. By the end of 2013, only 1 year, well, 2 full years into business, the number of trees they had planted exceeded 1.2 million. Now, take a zero off that for 10, reverse engineer it, and add $60 per hoodie, and look at their sales. So you're looking at over close to $7 million in sales from 2 young gentlemen from Regina, Saskatchewan, who knew their audience, knew their values, and developed Tree. I know, I own one of their sweaters. I wonder if you do too. Put it in the chat for me. So with that said, now that they like you, what are your values? So sitting down and doing some reflection about what your values are is so important. And that all goes into developing your personal brand statement. So trust. Now, I said we're at an all-time low for consumer behavior to actually trust you in anything you do. So what do we need to do to allow people to trust you? Like literally, I could sit here and say, you know what? My name's Michelle Andrushak. I'm the best international business coach in the world, and I can increase your profits by 37% within 7 months. If that came out of my mouth, ladies, although it's true, if it's coming out of my mouth, it's absolute garbage. You're not going to believe it. However, if one of my clients says exactly the same thing, it's golden. So remember, developing an army of advocates to help your credibility campaign, aka good old-fashioned word of mouth advertising. But then again, you have to make sure that you're controlling what's said, as well as that it's sincere, it's authentic. So why do we even need reviews and testimonials? Well, simply because no one's going to believe me if I say I'm the best coach in the world. No one's going to believe you if you're going to say you're the best yoga instructor. Somebody needs to step up alongside you and give you credibility. So let's look at some word of mouth facts. The Nielsen report says 92% of consumers believe suggestions from friends and family more than advertising. Yeah, that's valid. Beyond friends and family, 88% of people trust online reviews written by other customers. TripAdvisor, it's all about reviews. Yelp, all about reviews. If you don't have Google reviews from linked to your website, if you don't have testimonials on your website, if you don't have Facebook reviews, or better yet, video reviews somewhere, then really you're losing a lot of business because people go there first. 74% of consumers identify word of mouth as a key influencer in their purchasing decisions. So reviews, testimonials, and I will share a little bit about good, better, and best testimonials. And I have a program at the end to offer you on learning how to get them even more. But here's the thing, 92% of consumers rely on testimonials and reviews in their purchasing, but only 33% of businesses are actively seeking them out and collecting those reviews. 66% or 67% of consumers are totally missing out. So I hope that's not you. So you do need a practice of and a system and a strategy to actively seek out and collect those reviews. We really want to take the pressure off getting testimonials. People love you, they know you, they like you, they trust you, they love you, they've used your service, and you said, hey, can you give me a testimonial? And they said, yes, I would love to. And then you wait a year, and then you wait another year, and that testimonial gets pushed to the side of other person's desk. Oh, you hear it, oh, I owe you a testimonial, but I got really busy, da, 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 da. Here's a tip. If you're asking your client for a testimonial, don't use the word testimonial. Simply say, how was your experience with me today? And let them talk and listen. And you write down exactly what they say in their words. Then you can show them and say, you know what, this would make a great testimonial for my promotions. Would it be okay if I put your name and maybe the city you live in underneath it? And because they know, like, and trust you and love you, they'll 90% of them will say, yeah, that's great. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and do that. And then all of a sudden you've taken all the pressure and all the stress off your client. Because if they feel stressed by you, if they feel pressured by you, they won't be your client for long. So their retention will be way low. So it's your responsibility to capture the testimonial, either written or better yet, video. So using customer testimonials regularly in your marketing awareness credibility campaigns generates approximately 62% more revenue for your business. If you're not repurposing and reusing these reviews on multiple levels, you're simply losing money. Video testimonials are the most effective. Why? Just like TV, conveying emotion, sincerity, and authenticity. With 78% of people watching online videos on a weekly basis, you simply cannot afford to miss out on this powerful marketing tool that will generate immense credibility. Immense credibility. And I'd love to show you what a really easy way is to capture those video testimonials. So again, you're looking at opportunities to allow people to know you, like you, and trust you. Google reviews are one of the top used platforms. So I highly recommend, if you don't already, have a Google My Business page set up with a link to assess your a list to set up your reviews, and you're continually asking people to write reviews for you. And now we're in a consumer behavior generation where that they're looking to give you a review. So if you don't ask for one, they certainly won't give you one unless they're upset with you. Then they'll go to Google and give you a 1-star review. And Google, no matter how old that 1-star review is, will make sure it's at the top of the rest of your reviews to give a balanced review. You might have all 5 stars and 1 star. Everyone will see the 1 star. So make sure you're taking control and asking your most valuable clients to write a review for you. And it's simple as getting the link and putting it on your email signature. So every email you send out, you say, hey, it was great working with you. Here's a link to give me a review on Google. 2 to 10% of people will give you that review. So how do we dive deeper to really, this was the iceberg of your credibility to cash flow campaign building. So I do have a 5-week program. I'd certainly like to offer it to you at I say the Great Wow Christmas deal. So it is a 5-week program personally developed for you. And we work on mapping out the pain points and desires and the demographics of your most valuable client, developing your personal brand so your most valuable client can get to know you, and you have a really clear understanding of how to communicate your values and be as successful as Tentry. And then I'll teach you how to create buzz for your biz by capturing those reviews in a non-stressful, non-pushy way that encourages your most valuable client not only to spread the word about how brilliant you are, but also to review and build your credibility. And again, attracting your most valuable clients, and they're the ones with the money in the pocket. If you think your most valuable client is everybody, we need to work together, because it's not everybody will be your most valuable client. Finally, in developing that credibility campaign, mapping out your personal path to purchase for your clients. So mapping out, okay, what is their test drive opportunity? What is their next step and their next step and their next step as they build their relationship, their lifetime customer relationship with you and your business. And at the end up to being an advocate for you, where they bring their friends and you have 80% retention of your clients that will bring you cash flow again and again and again. So knowing what that journey looks like is so important, because your most valuable client doesn't know where to go. So we need to map out that path to purchase for them and make it easy. So if you'd like to join me on this 5-week journey, I'll post the link in the chat as well. It's valued at $525 a person, but I'm giving a massive Christmas discount on this opportunity. So I've decreased that to $197. So this is what you get. A deeper dive certainly into this credibility program. So overall, it's 7.5 hours of business consulting for $197 Canadian dollars all in, including tax. And then you get 5 1-hour deep dive online presentations and workbooks to emailed to you on a weekly basis. And then you get 30 minutes of one-on-one time with me each week. So that's 5 webinars and workbooks, 1 per week for 5 weeks, and 5 30-minute consulting sessions, so I can customize your journey as you build your credibility campaign. So that's 2.5 hours of one-on-one time work with me. So if you would like to dive deep into developing your credibility campaign, there's my phone number. Simple. All you have to do is text me 403-845-9150 to take advantage of the deal today, and text the words "I'm in." I've got my phone right beside me, and I see a text message coming in right now. So with that said, let's open it up in our last few minutes to questions. And I hope today that you now understand the opportunity of stop marketing and selling and start, as I stop the share, and start building a credibility campaign that really works for you. So I must say that I do have a lady in the room that I'll call upon who's done the 5-week program with me, has completed it. Miss Wendy, would you share I mean, it doesn't mean anything. It's $197, and the number is 403 845-9150. But I'll just ask Wendy to share what's your experience in the last session of the credibility program.
It was great. When I saw this, I thought, it never hurts to have a refresher, because maybe the last time I watched the video, maybe I missed something, but no, the 5 weeks was great. I was already doing my website through another company, and so I'm trying to get my stuff organized. So I have my own Zoom account, I have my own YouTube channel, and I'm trying to get more videos out there. I have some in the hopper. I just got to hit the switch to send them out. A little nervous, so I got to get over that, but it was great. I really enjoyed everything. Getting to know if people have to know me, and I wanted to make sure that I was projecting what I wanted them to be, and that's what the feedback I was getting, that yes, I'm confident, and except for videos, but in my work, I'm confident.
How did it feel to dive into the knowing your most valuable customer and developing that personal brand?
Well, they go hand in hand. And I really like that, because sure, I'm a service company, and it's really hard to get clients, especially kind of now, but I want to get out there because I do want to do more. And yeah, trying to have a branding statement, I found very enlightening. Trying to narrow it down in a few words was fun.
I love that.
I could talk forever.
Thanks, Wendy. I so appreciate it. I'm happy to see you here. This was totally unexpected, but it's always nice to be able to give somebody a refresher. So I'm just going through the chat, but if you do have any questions for me, you absolutely can unmute and ask me a question. Okay, I'm just walking through to see if there's any questions in the chat.
Well, I asked a question in the chat, and I'm actually revealing my early morning self. I really am overbooked right now, and I can't even think about doing this.
Oh, you're breaking up a little bit.
And
she just had a question in the chat, Michelle, about great value. She's overbooked. Any chance you could do it in the spring, or do the offer in the spring?
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? It may not be at the same price. However, what's beautiful about this opportunity, and I know Wendy has this because she's already purchased the program, is that you can purchase the program and then complete it at any time, because you will have the links forever to the webinars. You'll have the workbooks forever, so you can start or extend the 5-week program even into 10 weeks. So if you say, okay, I'd like to sign up and get this particular discounted rate, because I can't guarantee that it will be the same rate in the spring, that I will send the webinars and the workbooks and the link to book some time with me, and you can use that link to book into my calendar for 2021, spring, summer, fall, whatever works for you. I'm really flexible that way.
Fabulous. My internet just died, so I hear yes, you're flexible, and that is awesome.
Absolutely. So all you have to do today, ladies, is text me at the number I put into the chat, 403-845-9150, with the words "I'm in." And then later on today, I will be following up with a phone call to get you set up on building your credibility campaign. Now I'm looking at, are there any other questions that I have here? Oh, what if the customers are camera shy? Marianne says, you know what? I can teach you a way to make them feel comfortable and to invite them into a Zoom meeting just like this. And believe me, If I can get Wendy to do it, I'll pretty much get everyone to do it, to come in and give a testimonial and have them set up and have them comfortable where you're interviewing them and you're able to repurpose and edit the video so it showcases exactly what they said, conveys the emotion, but at the same time makes them feel very comfortable about being on camera. Yeah. So there are good, better, bests when it comes to testimonial. Of course, video is always great. Better is a picture with whatever they said, and good is just whatever they said and their name to it. So thanks to the low level of trust in the industry right now, people may not believe a testimonial if it's just written words with somebody's name on it. You're probably better to add a picture. So get their permission to add a picture to go along with the testimonial. Yes, it was a typo, Marion, for the second 97. So it is $197 discounted from $525. So thanks for that. I have to go back and do that. So with that said, is branding part of it too? Absolutely. We do in session 2 of the program, we sit down and develop your personal brand and how you convey that. And so with all of that, I think I've gone through any questions. So I will, let me see here. If Teresa is still in the room, I'm going to pass the microphone back to Teresa to wrap it up for your holistic health, your holistic earth. And thank you so much for inviting me to spend some time with you today.
Oh, well, I wasn't expecting that, but that's okay. Thank you so much, Michelle. This was